This episode of Techno Buffalo is brought to you by Netflix. Welcome back to another episode of Rettinger's Rants. This is the show where I rant and rave on anything from the world of technology and sometimes a little bit outside of technology. Up this week, Windows 8. It's only a few days away from launch, and I got a lot to talk about. If you're a fan of Windows 8 or not a fan of Windows 8, stick around. Let's get ranting. So I'm free to talk about it now. I had the distinct pleasure of testing Windows 8 in its very early phases until a final release candidate, and it was a bit of a mixed bag. So the first equipment I was testing Windows 8 on was a non-touchscreen device. I had to use a mouse to manipulate the not Metro UI, modern UI. Microsoft does not like it if you call it Metro. Even though it puts hair gel on and wears tight jeans, does not want to be called Metro. It was a bit tough to use at the beginning, just using a mouse and trying to use a cursor to manipulate the modern UI. Then I was able to get my hands on a touchscreen laptop, a next generation Ultrabook, and Windows 8 suddenly became much easier to use. But one thing became very clear to me, especially recently I was looking to get a laptop for my mother-in-law, deciding what to get. Windows 8 has a tremendous learning curve. If you're very tech savvy and you like to update and be the first one to update, you're probably gonna like Windows 8. However, a big warning, if you do not have a touchscreen, do not update to Windows 8. Windows 8 is an extremely revolutionary UI for Microsoft. Whether you love it or hate it, you gotta give them credit for trying something new. And it works really well with the touchscreen. Trying to manipulate all the live tiles just does not work with the mouse. Think of it as trying to use Windows Phone 8 without your finger. It would be very, very, very difficult. Settings are hard to find. If you want to try and shut the computer off, for example, it could take several minutes to figure out how to do it. And then little things like that tend to add up time over time over time. But if you're like me and you like to explore, you're going to love the opportunity to do that. However, if you're like my mother-in-law, it is going to be an absolute nightmare. So if you're looking to get a new laptop in the near future for you or for somebody else or a desktop, think about who you're getting it for before you decide if Windows 8 is going to be right for you. I will say, could I use Windows 8 on a daily basis? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure yet. I think a real yet to be seen is how developers are going to respond to the Metro UI. They can develop apps either for the Metro UI or just for the operating system that'll work just as regular Windows apps have. And it's been a bit of a mixed bag. It's been very cool to see Windows 8 go from the very first beta to actually it was an alpha test that I had to the final release candidate that's coming in a few days on the Surface. It's going to be very interesting. But having a chance to use Windows 8 on a traditional laptop form factor, maybe even more excited for the Microsoft Surface, their dedicated tablet. I think Windows 8 is perfectly suited for a tablet environment, especially with that little fold-out keyboard. Should be pretty awesome setup. But the purpose of this rant, and I want to sort of rant a little bit to Microsoft, is the learning curve on this is tremendous. Going from Windows XP to Vista to 7, pretty simple. Things didn't change that much. UI changed a little bit. It was gradual. Things worked the same. Totally thrown all that out with Windows 8, and it can be really scary and confusing for a lot of people. I enjoy the challenge. You might be like me and you enjoy trying to learn something new and dive in and figure out the nuances, but if technology is something that you just use because you have to, use it at work, or you need it when you gotta write a paper, or you wanna browse the internet, it's gonna be completely different. Even browsing Internet Explorer, for example, in Windows 8, is an entirely new experience. Everything you used to do on a computer is rethought, rethunk. That's a word. I wouldn't be surprised though in a couple months to see Microsoft add some of the Windows 7-esque features back. For instance, a traditional start menu is going to be a huge admission to some. People aren't going to know how to get to their programs. They're going to hit that Windows button on their keyboard and have no idea what happens next when all the live tiles start popping up and things become completely unintuitive with the mouse. Do you guys agree, disagree? Am I way off base with Windows 8? I love it. I kind of hate it. I'm excited to use it, but I'm not sure I could use it on an everyday basis, except on a tablet. We'll have full Microsoft Surface coverage coming up very, very soon. I want to take a minute to thank our friends and sponsors at Netflix. Netflix streams TV shows and movies directly to your home, saving you time, money, and hassle. As a Netflix member, you can instantly watch TV episodes and movies streaming directly to your PC, Mac, or to your TV with your Xbox 360, PS3, or Nintendo Wii console. Watch as many movies as you want, anytime you want, cancel anytime. To get a free 30-day trial membership, go to netflix.com/buffalo and try it out now to get all your streaming on. So only a few days away from Microsoft Windows 8 release, from the Surface release, and from Windows 7 being yesterday's news. Leave all your thoughts down below. John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo. See you next video.